So, welcome to today's webinar. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd of February 2017, and the time is 15:03 here in the UK. You're looking at a Euro USD 12-hour chart. Let's go up to the daily, and let's go up to AUDCAD. Let's start from the top of the list. So, why was there no analysis yesterday? Because, well, as you guys in the room know, but I'm saying this for the benefit of the people watching on YouTube, I'm headed down to London tomorrow to see one of my students who is taking on one of the UK's top traders in a one-on-one trading competition at the Forex Expo. I'm going down to London to watch that, and I've been very busy preparing to go to London. There's a lot of things I had to get in order, so I was unable to do a webinar yesterday, and like I was saying earlier, I'm unable to do a webinar today, but I'm doing it anyway. And I'm not sure if I'll get one done tomorrow. It's going to be pretty tough because I'm on a train in the morning down to London, and then we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to bring the equipment to do a webinar. So we might have a webinar tomorrow. We'll just see how it pans out. All right, so let's get started with the analysis. In today's analysis, I'm going to be looking at each pair on my list, and we're going to be looking for reversal setups on these pairs. Don't have much time today, so let's speed through this. Starting with AUDCAD, it's broken above resistance, so there's not really that much happening there. AUDJPY, what's going on with that? It's bouncing from support. It's like a continuation, but nothing really tradable there. It's too late if you wanted to get into that trade. AUD New Zealand, okay. That's interesting. Ooh. That's some pretty obvious stalling on the resistance area. Very obvious stalling on the resistance area. Looks a bit messy on the 12-hour though. What's this gap up? Oh no, sorry, it didn't gap up. Never mind that. I was being stupid for a second. It's pushing up though. So, yeah. All right. This is worth keeping an eye on, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it on the daily. I want to see how the daily closes. The 12-hour is just a bit too messy right now. It looks like buyers starting to push back up. They might be regaining control. I don't want to jump the gun here. I don't want to get in too early. I'm just gonna wait to see how this closes on the daily. But yeah, this could easily close as a nice little indecision candle on the daily. Let's imagine that current push it's making up sinks back down to open, so we'll get a candle that looks a little bit like this. So we can imagine then how awesome that would look as a setup. And yeah, I don't know about risk to reward ratio for something like this. Imagining it closes exactly as I would hope. Yeah, you could pull off a 1.5 risk to reward ratio. So at the first hurdle to me is around this area. It'd be towards the bottom of the first hurdle, but that's okay. Yeah, okay, this has potential. It's not like an amazing setup by any means, but it has potential. So let's keep a close eye on AUD New Zealand. All right, AUD USD, what's going on with this? Stalling on resistance, but it's just way too messy. There's nothing I would really want to trade there. CAD JPY, what is up with you? It's a little continuation trade that's already triggered, so a bit late on that one. Euro AUD. All right, it is definitely stalling here, but it has been for quite some time now. And it's just, when it first stalled here on the 8-hour, right? When it first did that, you know, maybe I'd be interested. But since then, it's pushed lower. Sellers are too strong. It's broken below support. There's nothing really going on here. It's been stalling here for some time, but it's just too messy at this point. There's nothing tradable here. EuroCAD, what's EuroCAD doing? EuroCAD's still doing that thing where it's just like stuck on this on this support area. Doing this last week also. Some people wanted to enter here. I didn't really think it was that great a trade setup. Glad I thought that because didn't really work out too well. I mean, it wouldn't even have been a hit stop. It's just stalled. So you probably would have had to close that one out at break even. Yeah, nothing much happening there. Euro GBP is in between two support resistance areas. Nothing. Euro JPY is also in between two support resistance areas. Therefore, we have nothing. Euro New Zealand is just ranging. Not the kind of setup I look for. Euro New Zealand, like what's happening here is not the kind of setup I look for. But it looks like it's getting itself into a wedge. Where's that tool for doing wedges on TradingView? I think this is the one. Something like that. I'm not really that good at drawing wedges, to be honest. It could have probably already broken, to be fair. Ugh, I don't know how to do this. Never mind. The point is, it was getting into a tight wedge, but this is not a kind of setup that I look for, so I'm not that good at drawing wedges or trend lines. What I am better at is reversals, and what I'm seeing here on Euro USD looks tempting, doesn't it? You take a look at it and you think, oh, is that going to reverse? But nah, I'm not going to trade that. No way. It has been getting stuck on here for several candles now. Some people already entered here. Well, I think it was one or two people already entered here, and it didn't really go as they were expecting, because it's getting pretty low into this area. Now let's remove the shaded area. Let's remove all these shaded areas just so they don't distract people. The problem I have with what's happening on Euro USD right now, let's go to the 12-hour. This entire kind of zone here is just full of support resistance. It's full of support, I guess, because price was falling into it. So anything traded here is just going to be really, really messy, really unreliable. And if we enter a reversal trade from the bottom here, which it looks like we have forming right now, what we're going to have to contend with is price pushing up into what could possibly become resistance and just getting stuck and ranging around here and bouncing away. I'm just not that interested in it. The support resistance in this area it's just too wide. It's very undefined, it's very wide. So I'm not really that interested in taking a trade here. And still only AUD New Zealand that's looking good today. GBP AUD, messy. GBP JPY seems to be in between areas. Getting another one of those disjointed angles, or whatever they're called. Wedges. Does anyone trade these, by the way, in the room? It looks so nice when you look at them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trading this stuff. It's all price action. It all falls under price action. It's not something that I trade too often. Well, no, not too often, that I trade at all. But I would be open to seeing some stuff about this on the forum, to be honest. Curious if anyone has anything viable. Let's keep an eye on GBP JPY. Let's just see what happens. Can someone do me a favor and post this to the forum? I'm really, really busy today, and I just am not going to find the time. Can someone do me a favor and post this to the forum? Just use the disjointed, if you're on TradingView, use the disjointed angle tool, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're on an MT4 or whatever, just draw 2 trend lines into a wedge. I'm just curious to see what happens. I mean, we're pretty... I strictly trade reversals, but it doesn't mean that I'm not open to looking at other price action setups. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is just price action. We have price getting tighter and tighter into this little wedge. It'd be interesting to see if we could potentially trade a breakout from here. But anyway, let's stick to the purpose of the analysis for now. Let's stick to the actual reversals, the bread and butter that we trade day in, day out. And now I'm seeing wedges everywhere. Do you see this one? Once you start looking for them, they're everywhere. But sticking to reversals, GBP USD, we're not seeing any reversal setup. So let's stick to what we're doing. New Zealand USD. It got stuck at this little thing. So this trade, I mentioned this in last week's analysis. I think it was Wednesday's analysis last week, or possibly Thursday's analysis last week. I can't remember if I did a Thursday analysis last week. For those of you watching on YouTube, this trade closed out profitably. It was a nice little trade. I hope you took it, but right now there is nothing really happening. So next, USD CAD. In between 2 support resistance areas, nothing really happening. USD CHF, broken above resistance. So yeah, nothing really that I would want to trade there. USD JPY finally. Nothing really tradable on USD JPY. Yeah. So all we really have today is AUD New Zealand.